of Ruth that I had prepared for the Pals worship service that has been canceled. This is an abbreviated version of the entire book of Ruth. Judean living in the land of Moab when her husband and later her 2 sons died, leaving her alone with her 2 Moabite daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah. Naomi packed up and prepared to go home to Bethlehem with her 2 daughters-in-law. When they were on the way, Naomi stopped where she was and she addressed her daughters-in-law saying, "You must go home to your families. Go to your mother's household so that you can start new lives. The Lord has dealt bitterly with me, but may the Lord bless you, for you have shown kindness to me." Crying, and they said, "No, we want to go with you." Then Naomi said, "I can't give you husbands, biologically or otherwise. You must go home." And so Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, and she left. Then Naomi turned to Ruth and said, "Your sister has gone, and now it is your turn." But Ruth said, "Do not press me to leave you. Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, there will I be buried." Went on to Bethlehem. It was during the time of the harvest, so she went out gleaning. She happened to glean in the field of a man named Boaz, who was a relative of Naomi's deceased husband. As returned to his field, he asked a servant, "Who is that woman?" And the servant said, "That is the Moabite daughter-in-law of Naomi, who has returned from the land of Moab." Permission to glean in this field, and she has been on her feet the entire day. She hasn't taken a break. To Ruth and said to her, "Men in this field who are gleaning, and stay close behind the men who are harvesting. I have told my men not to harm you. You are welcome to drink from the water that they draw." Then Ruth fell on her knees, and she said to him, "Why have you found favor with me, a foreigner?" And Boaz said to her, "I have heard all of the kindness that you have shown to Naomi since your husband has died, how you journeyed with her from Moab. Glean in the field that day. When it came time for the meal, Boaz invited Ruth to eat with him and with his hired hands, and she did. After that, she prepared her grain and she went home. She showed Naomi all that she had, and Naomi exclaimed, "Who has been so kind to you?" And Ruth told her about Boaz and all that he had done. Naomi exclaimed, "Boaz is a relative. Maybe he will redeem us." glean in Boaz's fields for the rest of the harvest. When the harvest was over, then Naomi hatched a plan. She told Ruth where to go, what to say, and what to wear. And Ruth did all of that and more. She cleaned herself up, and she went to the threshing floor. After Boaz had fallen asleep, she uncovered him, and then she laid. When he woke up in the middle of the night and realized that somebody was with him, he said, "Who are you?" And she said, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your cloak over me, for you are next of kin." May God bless you for this kindness, that you have come for me instead of a younger man. But there is somebody closer related. I will take care of this tomorrow. Dawn arrived before anybody else had woken up. Boaz gave Ruth even more grain and sent her home. Boaz went to the city gate and in front of the elders addressed the next of kin. He said, "Naomi would like to sell her husband's field, and you are next of kin." So the next of kin said, "Sure, I'll buy it." But then Boaz said, "In purchasing this land, you also get Ruth the Moabite, and you must raise up an heir for this land." Well, then the next of kin said, "That would ruin my own children's inheritance. No, I have no interest in this." So the next of kin, following the habits of that time, he took off his shoe in front of the elders and he handed it to Boaz, relinquishing any right that he had to Ruth, to Naomi, and to that field. So Boaz married Ruth. A son named Obed, and Obed became an ancestor of King